we going, everybody? A quick update on the veggie garden, especially after the adverse weather that we've had. We've had 31 degrees today. It started off with a really foggy, misty morning. The humidity level was skyrocketing through the roof, so that is a problem in itself because it can actually cause a lot of disease to develop and progress all over your plants because they flourish in the moisture, in the humidity. And we're talking about things like rust, septoria leaf spot on tomatoes, mildew developing on many plants, especially your zucchinis and cucumbers, so be wary about that. But the main underlying reason why they will actually get infected is because the plants are struggling to start with lack of nutrients or not enough uptake going on. Just the balance in the mixture of the soil that they're growing in can vary dramatically from one extreme to the other or from one bed to another bed. And it's not the perfect science. You can try and emulate and mimic what nature does, but it just needs time to settle down. So we're going to go through some of the plants that I've got here, and these are all relatively young. I'm planting very late, and in fact for me I think it's about the right time because the weather is warm. It's not getting as cold as it was up about a week ago. We were still dropping down to 4 and 5 degrees overnight, which is not good for the plants. They'll push through it, but they'll always have a bit of a drawback after going through a cold spell. And it's like what we're going through at the moment. We've had a lot of rain and literally a whole day straight, it's been a long time since we had that. Like this time last year we were underwater. So now we're getting a little bit of rain and reprieve because our ground's dried out. The lawn here was completely, wheat coloured dryness, and we were starting to see cracks. So it's been welcome to have the rain regardless of how it's come and its timing of it. At the end of the day, we needed some of that. So now let's look at the garden and see how it's progressing based on what we've used as a growing medium, which is our planting mix and compost and straw. Now, these are 2 chili plants that I've planted in here, already advanced. That's a devil's tongue. And this one here is the boccioloca. Okay, so have a look at this. When it's gone in, these are the original leaves, obviously. It's coming in the pot, and that's showing me that it was starting to lose its nutrient value, the soil in the pot that it was growing in. So it was depleting because of the constant watering. So if you're growing a pot plant, be sure to actually liquid feed it on a regular basis, or even sprinkle a little bit of superfood over the top. That way it gets a feed at the same time as you're watering it. Otherwise it washes through. But what we notice here now is the dark new green leaves coming through. So that's a good sign. So the roots have actually taken to the ground and it's kicking on. And that's the same with the other one. Now these are the 2 tomatoes that I planted early, and have a look at them. I'm training them up with 3 litres growing up. And remember how they'd fallen over and they were sort of lying down and kicking back up again, reaching for the sky because that's the way they want to grow. Well, they've straightened themselves up. Have a look at that. We've got 3 litres, we've got a couple of new suckers coming on. And today's actually a good day to be pruning, folks, because it's nice and warm. A little old fella told me once upon a time when I was only yay high, still the same size, but I've stretched in the last couple of hours. He told me many years ago, he goes, never prune on a cold day. When it's below 20 degrees, never prune your tomatoes because they don't heal. That's where the disease can get in. Now, this guy was a tomato grower, like an Italian 400 plus tomato plants. So he would never prune. And I was actually visiting him on a day where it was cool, and I took it upon myself to go and trim one of these little leaders like that, right? And as I've done that, he's yelled out, "Dad!" I said, "What's wrong? I'm just helping." He goes, "Don't prune it today." I go, "Why?" He goes, "It's too cold." I go, "What will happen?" He goes, "The sap will just keep oozing out and it'll get diseased." Now, that's his theory. I haven't got the science behind that, but it makes sense. So always prune on a warm day. Nothing below 18, 20 degrees. So that's doing really well. And look how nice and clean it is. Now we've had a lot of moisture, a lot of humidity, quite high in fact, but the health of these plants is showing good resilience against it. So not a problem at all. We've got our first bunch of flowers down there. Got another bunch actually down here's the first bunch, and they're setting fruit. These couple here will probably go off because they copped a couple of cold spells. So they're not going to set, but the other 2 have, and here as it goes on we've got plenty of tomatoes, so the soil's a good balance. Now these tomatoes here are going to grow on a string, and these are the Adele tomatoes, and I think they've got something to do with Adelaide tomatoes, but they're not the actual hybrid variety. These are heirloom open pollinators, and they date back a few years, if not decades. Now look at this down here. We've got angular leaf spot developing on it. This is the old leaf. Remember, this is not the growth that was developed through the soil here. It was grown in a sandy loam pot. little bit of manure probably mixed into it, and that's about it. Now this is going to go to heaven. We need to remove this. Now you can, I've shown you before, and I'm sure many of you know how to do it. You can just prune it off like that, or you can snap it off. Up and down I go, and that's it there. Get rid of the discoloured leaves like that. If they start showing these sort of signs, don't leave them on. There's spores that can spread, and wash your hands between touching the next plant. But I want to touch it. And if you have a close look, you can see all the new growth, how nice and dark it is there by comparison to the old leaves at the bottom there. So these have started to take to the soil as well. Mind you, we washed the soil off completely off these ones here in that bucket there of Eco Butch and Liquid Gold. Did you like that layer? She's zoned out. Your name is Cara and your layer. Okay, that's it. That's enough. No, stop. Don't sook. Don't sook. I said don't sook. Stop. Sit. 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 Bloody hell. You don't listen. She does. Oh, you sooky lala. You're a sook. And once your plants start to grow really big, folks, like these tomatoes, well, not quite big yet, you're going to have to start pruning them a bit more regularly. Yes, I did wash my hands in between. So we're going to take off a couple of these suckers, and what you can do is don't toss them out, because if you've got a specimen, prize specimen plant that you're really happy with, all you need to do is take a couple of cuttings off it, and with the weather the way it is at the moment, just sussing out which one I'm going to keep. I like that one there, but that's on the wrong side, so I'm going to take that one off. Don't freak out, because it's not going to heaven. What we're doing is removing all these leaves at the bottom. Doesn't matter if you tear too, that's okay. It will be okay, I think. But it'll be okay. We're doing a cutting. And that's it there. And that's about 30 centimetres, probably longer. You can go a little bit shorter than that. And you need a little stick. You don't want to force this into the soil. Pop it in like that. And this is not a place where I'm going to plant it. Or I've got one here. I did one earlier. And if I stick it there, it's too close. If I stick it there, all right. Same plant, not going to hurt. Just punch a hole in there like that, and then pop this down as far as you can without buckling it. Oh, that's good. That's it, and then just press the soil down firmly. Job done. Give it a couple of weeks and you should see some new growth coming on. Now if it gets really hot, cover it over, get it away from direct sunlight, so on the really hot days for a couple of weeks, and after that, once you start seeing new growth, you're guaranteed that the roots have taken, and you've got a second plant growing off the mother stock plant. So one plant will give you 2, 3, 4 and lots more. Now you can do this in your own garden. All you need is a nice sharp cutting tool, and obviously sterilise beforehand and wash your hands in between going from one plant to the other. So look out for bad disease coming out on your garden beds, especially on your tomatoes at this time of the year if the temperature is fluctuating dramatically and the humidity is high. Spray with our disease control pack for those who've got it with an easy hand sprayer. If you haven't got it, they're running on special with our Christmas bonus discount. Use the coupon code word Merry Christmas, I'll get that right, and you get yourself an extra 20% off the already discounted price online, folks. Everything on VasilisGarden.com is discounted for you to enjoy a great Christmas and enjoy your garden at the same time. From me, Vasily, Maresi.